Alright, make sure everything's good.
Okay, I see the chat now.
Okay. Alrighty guys, sorry for the technical difficulties. We're going to start back from where we left off. And yeah, we're going to cue the movie here.
Alright, just do a countdown kind of thing.
Alright, so starting off in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
So that makes you the indisposable number 7. Huh.
And
Come on, it's simple. You 6 plus me is 7. Wait, don't tell me I don't count. No.
That damn blade. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
take it.
In the master's playful and mischievous way, he gave his apprentice Lushu a very important role. What seemed like a simple task was the element that would connect all of the events to come. Long, long ago, all the worlds were still one. One day, this would be called the Age of Fairy Tales. It all began here in Daybreak Town. The Master of Masters had an eye that gazes into the future. He bestowed upon 5 of his 6 apprentices a copy of the Book of Prophecies, in which was written the events to come.
So, did you look through the book?
Yes, but I'm still analyzing it.
Wow, no quick skim for you, huh?
I just prefer to be thorough. Master, is what it says in the last passage true?
Oh yeah, that. Bummer, huh?
Yes.
By the way, if one day I suddenly disappear, I'm counting on you to keep the others calm, okay?
Huh? Disappear?
Vanish, dim, fade. I don't know how to explain it. It's just hypothetical talk.
Okay.
This world is full of light. It's a world comprised of many smaller worlds, all connected, stretching as far as the eye can see. One great light protects us all throughout this vast land. All worlds share one light, one fate.
I take it you're talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yep, you're right on the money. People believe that the light that is Kingdom Hearts will be here forever. But if it were
I can never understand why this man likes to talk in riddles.
Enveloped in darkness.
I understand. That is why you granted us these Keyblades. With these, we can spread the teachings of light. And we can protect Kingdom Hearts from darkness.
No, they're not for protecting Kingdom Hearts.
Huh?
The final passage reads, "On that fated
he's
land,
such...
a great war shall transpire.
He's so, like,
Darkness will prevail."
off-putting with what he says. Just like, alright, yeah.
Isn't it
Most
our
definitely.
duty as Keyblade wielders to prevent this war from taking place?
Not possible.
What?
You really think you can change the future?
Then, what do you want us to do?
We have to focus on what comes after. There's no use thinking of ways to change events that we know are gonna happen.
But what about all of those who are here now? And the ones who will be here when the darkness finally comes? Are we to abandon all of them?
Come on, are you telling me that you think the world can be saved by just 7 people?
We have to at least try. With enough Keyblade wielders, we could...
Well, if you want to give it a shot.
Yes.
Alrighty. Good luck.
One thing I will say, this video was
So
beautiful.
the reliable Era, who wore the mask of the unicorn, was given his role to take over for the Master and to lead the others. Similarly, the virtuous Envy, who wore the mask of the snake, was given her role to watch over the others with a fair eye. The fearless Aced, who wore the mask of the bear, was given his role to support their brand new leader, Era. The prudent Ava, who wore the mask of the fox, was given her role to prepare exceptional Keyblade wielders for the world after. The cool-headed Gula, who wore the mask of the leopard, was given his role to uncover the mystery of the Book of Prophecies. Lushu, the first of the apprentices to be given their role, watched his companions from afar as they learned what it was that they were meant to do. Then, he disappeared. Not long after that, the Master vanished, dimmed, and faded without a trace. This is where your story began. The story of your very own adventure.
I ain't played this
The
game.
Master's apprentices armed themselves with the Book of Prophecies. They each created a union. This would fulfill his wishes. Then, they set out to rally Keyblade wielders just like you. By defeating Heartless, the monsters of darkness, they would gather light.
There's a traitor among us.
Are you certain? What proof do you have?
I found this sniffing around.
Is that a dark Cherothy? Is that a nightmare? Master, did you make this? It's so cute!
Well, things are gonna get pretty hectic around here soon. But this spirit Cherothy is gonna make your lives much easier. Hopefully.
Spirit?
You could say they're like cats or dogs. And they'll be your loyal pets. Every wielder will have one of these adorable little guys at their side. They're here to help, so play nice.
Okay.
Oh, right. Before I forget. If a wielder is overcome by malice, or rather if their heart is tainted by darkness, their adorable little spirit will turn dark and become a nightmare.
So you're telling us that if we see a nightmare...
Someone has fallen into darkness.
Exactly. And if you don't stop this renegade spirit, it'll plant darkness in the hearts of others. And you'll have an army of nightmares on your hands. Beware.
So, if we see one of these nightmares anywhere, we have to get rid of it on the spot.
No! I won't let you do that!
No wonder you ended up as the bear. You're scary.
Your point?
Maybe you can growl at them.
Don't insult me!
Come on, Aced. You won't know if it works unless you try.
Please tell me you're joking. It's not me.
There's an easy way to solve this. If we all summon our spirits, then we'll know.
Unfortunately, there are countless wielders in our unions. It would be easy for any of us to summon a Cherokee that isn't a nightmare. I'm afraid that your suggestion wouldn't help us get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, in that case, who's to say that the nightmare you saw belongs to one of us? It could belong to anyone in our unions.
That's highly unlikely. Do you recall the tool the wielders were given in order to make them stronger? We generally don't concern ourselves with what they have at their disposal. However, I believe those tools were the nightmare's doing.
The bangles. I know when they're equipped, they have the power to collect dark energy. But I thought we all agreed that was okay.
Collecting is fine, but using that power is the equivalent of using the power of darkness.
It's a brilliant plan. Everyone knows that all spirits look the same, and wielders exist in spades. There's no way to tell.
Oh no. Everyone's already equipped their bangles.
So what now? How do we find out who's behind this?
Seeing as those bangles couldn't have been acquired by just anyone, I believe it's one of us here in this room.
No, Ira. I respectfully disagree. What proof do we have that the bangles are tied to the power of darkness, or if a nightmare is to blame? We shouldn't simply jump to conclusions.
Ira, some leader you are. You've managed to plant seeds of doubt in all of us with that speech. What, did you expect the traitor to give themselves up with that accusation of yours? That was foolish.
Said, that's quite enough.
It looks to me like the Master made the wrong choice.
Wait, where do you think you're going?
I think we're done here. I trust you'll keep us all updated.
I hope we can all resolve this soon.
That didn't go as expected.
What's wrong, Ira? This isn't like you.
A lost page. Something's missing from our book of prophecies. Each of our copies were said to contain the events of the future. But this incident, well, it's nowhere to be found.
And how does this whole thing with the traitor tie together?
Like I said, it's nowhere to be found. In my book.
Ira, are you implying that someone is in possession of the missing page? And the person with the complete book is the traitor?
There is something going on, and a page is suspiciously missing from the book. It's not so far-fetched to assume that the one who has the lost page has been turned, that they have fallen into the hands of darkness. Trust me.
There seems to be no record of it in my book either. You may be onto something. I wonder, could this have been the Master's plan all along? To grant the lost page to only one of us?
We have no way of knowing. The Master is gone.
I understand what you're saying. I promise to keep a close eye on the others. I will keep you informed, as always.
Thanks.
Of course. After all, that is what the Master asked of me. And Ira, may your heart be your guiding key.
Oh, ain't that the first time we're gonna hear that? It ain't gonna be the last, that's for sure.
Haynes wants to end.
Gosh damn it.
This thing we've all
Alright.
done doesn't need.
Now skip that. Alright.
So, to sum it up, I'll need you to observe the others. Easy breezy.
All right.
Like I said, Ira may have to take over for me. But don't be shy. Just be fair. And do not be afraid to speak up. Even though I say observe, you'll need to be the mediator. Make sure people get along.
I understand. But without you or Lushu, to form and maintain our own unions is... it's a little unnerving, to be honest.
Oh, come on. Lighten up a little. Maybe I'll never disappear. Wait. Do you want me to go?
What? No, of course not.
I was just kidding.
Oh. I see.
Look, I get that change can be hard for everyone, but things need to keep moving forward. And you need to keep up. Otherwise, you'll just get left behind, all alone. Now that you know what the future holds, Envy, what does your heart say? May your heart be your guiding key. I say it all the time. You ultimately need to do what your heart feels is right.
Right.
I was wrong about Ira. I thought he would make a great leader, but he let me down. Well, what do you two think? You don't believe what Ira said, do you?
Of course not. His argument was unconvincing. It's like Invi said. He's just making baseless assumptions given the situation. There's no evidence to tie his accusations to anyone, let alone one of us.
Maybe there's something he hasn't told us.
And he needs to tell us. How dare he look at us with suspicion? We're his comrades.
I wouldn't call us comrades. Anyway, could you get to the point? I know you didn't call us here just to complain.
I want the three of us to form an alliance.
But alliances are forbidden, us said.
I knew it. I had a feeling it would come to this. So, we join forces, then confront Ira?
Confronting him is pointless. Ira won't change his mind. I know there's darkness at work. There's no question. But I don't believe for a second there's a traitor among us. Unfortunately, Ira doesn't share the same belief. He's just wasting time trying to figure out who the traitor is. The darkness won't wait, and neither should we. We need to band together now and find a way to fight it.
Guess it makes sense.
I agree that we need to do something to fight the darkness. But combining our unions? That was strictly forbidden by the Master.
A lot of the things that he set up just didn't make any sense to me.
I'm in. But let's be clear. The alliance is just between the two of us right now.
The way he set up everything
I don't want my
was designed to fail.
Gula.
Reminds me of something else, and I'll get to that after the movie's over.
I want to follow the Master's teachings.
Understood. That's your choice to make. You should do whatever you feel is right.
Yeah.
By the way, Asen, do Ira and Invi know?
I haven't talked to Ira about it for obvious reasons, but I did ask Envy to join us.
You wanted to see me? Gula, Ava, what are you doing here? What's the meaning of this?
Hear me out, Envy. I want an alliance among our unions. Gula here has already agreed. Will you join us? And together we can...
And disobey the Master's teachings?
We don't have a choice. Darkness is approaching, and we need to combine our strength to stand against it.
The Master bestowed each of us with a different role, and he specifically told us to keep our unions separate, to maintain the balance of power. He told us that any imbalance would lead to a desire for more power, which leads to darkness. I know you haven't forgotten. Perhaps It's you who has been tainted by darkness.
I'm tainted by darkness? Then what about you, Envy? You spy on us and report everything you see back to Era. You really think you have no darkness in your heart after what you did?
Because that is my role.
To observe us, yes, but not to disclose everything we say and do to Era.
That's...
For all we know, you and Era could be allies, scheming behind our backs.
That's enough.
Let's stop. I don't want us to turn against each other.
Master Alva.
Oh, hello. Your name is Ephemer, right?
Uh-huh. Hey, can I join you?
Uh-huh.
Why the long face? Did something happen?
Long day. Do you remember what you asked me before? About why the unions compete against each other instead of working together? Actually, I always wondered the same thing.
Huh? Isn't it just because the Master said so?
Yes. And as such, we must obey. The Master said so. So it is. Lately, I've really started to wonder. You once told me that you were looking for answers. That you wanted to solve the mysteries of this world. Well, I think that's how things should be. We need to question things and think for ourselves.
Whoa! You are really not yourself today. I guess even foretellers have their off days. Hey, maybe talking about the book will cheer you up.
Not a chance.
Aww.
You were trying to pull a fast one on me, weren't you?
Oh, no, I was joking.
If you say so. But, to be honest, I think it would be great if all the unions could work together and be friends.
You know, I made a friend from another union today. Wasn't much of a talker, maybe just shy. We're meeting again tomorrow.
That sounds like so much fun. Then, you'd better go home and get some sleep.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. I don't know what's got you down, but please cheer up.
Thank you. If the worst happens, I'll be glad to leave the future to the kids who see the world in the way that you do. Let the wind carry you far, far away. My dandelions.
Introducing the Galaxy S8.
My dandelions.
Okay. Short ad.
Envy. Have you learned something?
It seems Ased and Gula's unions are now allied.
So Ased is the traitor after all.
No, I don't believe he is.
Why's that?
To Ased, unification is a means of gathering strength to oppose the darkness. So I believe his heart still belongs to the light.
Even so, forming alliances was strictly forbidden by the Master.
Yes, and his teachings are absolute. That's why I will try and persuade Gula to dissolve their alliance.
Then I'll do it.
No. Please, let me do the talking. Your intervention will do nothing more than spur Ased's anger.
All right. I'll leave it to you.
And one more thing. Ased has begun to question the two of us. As a precaution, my reports will be less frequent. I don't want him to get the wrong idea. Please understand.
Yes, I do.
I think I'm done.
Done with what?
The Alliance. I think it's time to call it quits.
For what reason?
To put it simply, I entered this alliance thinking we were preparing to fight some impending darkness, but it hasn't come. In fact, there haven't been any suspicious incidents recently, and you haven't rallied anyone else to your cause.
Yeah, but...
This alliance is meaningless. Even Envy agrees.
Oh. Envy?
Uh-oh. You weren't supposed to find out.
Is Envy the one who told you to break our alliance?
Maybe. But I'm the one who decided to do it. And I've already told you why.
But we don't even know who the traitor is yet!
And that's exactly why. I just can't trust anyone but myself.
Don't you realize you won't stand a chance against the darkness on your own?
Sorry, my mind's made up.
Envy, you will regret this.
You been here long? My bad.
No.
So, what did you want?
You didn't forget, did you? You're the one who called me here.
Lighten up! I was just kidding. I didn't forget. Give me a little credit here. I was just testing you.
Right.
Now, allow me to tell you about your role. You're going to be Ira's right-hand man.
What? Ira's right-hand man? What do you mean?
Well, Ira's gonna be the new leader after I'm gone, you see. So, just stand by. Don't disappoint.
Explain to me, Master. What do you mean Ira's going to be leader?
What? Is that disappointment I hear? Did you want to be leader?
No! I mean, if you had asked me to be the leader, that's a different story, but I wasn't trying...
You really want to be leader, huh?
Well...
I know you want it, but that just isn't enough. Any chump can say, here's a huge promotion, good job, and make you head honcho. But enthusiasm alone doesn't make a great leader. Ira needs someone like you to give him a push in the right direction.
I agree. Ira is definitely the most worthy among us. I'm sure he'll make a fine leader.
Then it's settled.
Wait, I agreed that he is worthy. But why do we need a new leader, Master? Does that mean you will no longer be teaching us?
Well, I might disappear one day. Well, I might disappear.
Disappear? Why? Where?
Speak up sooner if you're listening. It's embarrassing for me. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna disappear or not. It's anyone's guess right now.
But...
in any case, you need to support Ira. We both know he's quite serious. He's always just thinking and thinking and thinking behind that unicorn mask of his. So everyone will be counting on you to spur him into action.
Right.
You might not be entirely happy with your role, but just know that it's the most important one. Capiche? Shall I elaborate? Making Ira the leader is all good in theory, but sometime later you might think, he's terrible at this. In which case it'll be your job to step up. Who knows? Your leadership might be just what everyone needs. And that is your true role. May your heart be your guiding key. Best of luck, I said.
It's been over a year since the Master left. It's time for me to fulfill my true role.
Damn. Over there opening rifts in space-time and stuff.
My way.
Don't be so conceited. I'm protecting the balance, just like the Master told us to.
Maybe that's what he
You need
meant.
to come to your senses.
If we don't do something, light will expire. Then we won't be able to avoid the grim future that awaits.
And the defiance of the teachings
the Master's teachings
is what brought them.
the world.
You're saying he was wrong?
Full prophecy.
He's not here anymore. I won't let him.
Yo, a lot of this is making
come
sense.
through. I won't let the world fall into darkness.
You fool!
Them physics, though. Them physics. You let her move you like that, big boy?
Ava, over here!
Envy! Asad! What's going on?
I found out who the traitor is. Regrettably.
No, that's not true!
Ava, there's no time to lose.
May my heart be my guiding key.
Dang, they tore up everything.
They really did. They destroyed everything. This video is brought to you by Unreal Engine 4, where the physics are remarkable.
Master. Master? If you're busy, I can always come back later.
Sure. Oh, no, stay. Now,
The lost page.
ah, here it is.
What's this?
Go on, read it.
This is from the Book of Prophecy.
Yup.
But
Yep. It's a page that's not in any of your books.
and what's written here is
Your role.
Yo.
You must find the traitor hidden among you, and stop them before it's too late. And in order to help you find the traitor...
I get it. That's why you gave us all different roles, isn't it? If anyone deviates from the job they were given, we can easily conclude that they are the traitor. It's brilliant.
Way to steal my thunder, show off.
Huh?
It's not fair. My plan was supposed to blow your mind with its grandeur. Your jaw should have hit the floor at my sheer genius.
I'm sorry? But was my logic flawed?
Oh, you're right. So, I guess now you've earned your time in the limelight. Even though there is a traitor, act normal and keep focused.
Goodness.
Trust no one but
That
yourself.
bass he put in his voice.
Trust no one but myself.
Hey, Melty, good.
Do you want to know what my role is? The books we were given are incomplete. There's a lost page.
Lost page?
On that page, it is written that there is a traitor. The master told me to find
Out of
and
all of the
stop that
Keyblades,
person.
I definitely think his is the coolest.
I called you my comrade. But never again, Gula. It doesn't matter to me if you think I am the traitor and you want to strike me down. You knew there was a traitor and you just watched silently as we fought each other. And I won't forgive you for that.
You can barely stay on your feet. Just give up already.
Don't you underestimate me!
Please stop! Why did it have to come to this?
Interesting.
Come to finish me off? Make it quick.
That's not what brought me here today. I wish to fulfill the role bestowed upon me. That's all. It isn't our place to try to change the events of the future. That is not our mission. We are here to make sure that light lives on. With only 5 lights, we can't afford to lose any.
You still count me as one of the 5 lights?
Of course.
Only you could be such a good guy after everything we've been through. But hey, I guess that's one of the reasons I respect you so much. However, I still might only be 4. I'm talking about Gula. He's using the knowledge of something called the Lost Page. He said that it contains events that are missing from all of our books. He's using it to discover and apprehend whoever is the traitor. Claims that's his role. But who knows what his real intentions are? What I do know is that I'll never forgive him for hiding the fact that he knew someone would betray us. That's the biggest betrayal of all.
I'd like to believe the Gula was simply carrying out his role. Aset, I'll deal with this matter. Please keep it to yourself for now.
Understood.
I need to see that lost page.
Why did you tell Ira? It had to be you, because you were the only one who knew where we were hiding. Didn't you think for a second that your actions could be making things worse than they already are?
And why should that even bother you? Not only do you have your unions, but you've also gathered the finest Keyblade wielders from other unions, and you're training them in a secret location, aren't you?
Yes, because that is my role!
I had no idea. I apologize. I overstepped.
No. I shouldn't have snapped at you either.
What did Ira want?
I don't know exactly. He just asked me to give up Gula. His eyes, they were scary. I was worried he'd do something awful. I knew I couldn't tell him where Gula was. Then he turned around and walked away.
I see. And Gula? How is he doing?
I don't know. He's gone.
Someone's coming. They're headed straight this way.
Take care of him. Ira? Is something wrong?
I know Gula's here.
What?
Tell me where he is.
But why? What are you going to do?
None of your concern.
Don't.
What?
I won't let you near him.
So that's it. All right. I'll go.
Gula, what are you doing?
Something happened?
Ira was here. He wanted me to give you up.
I knew it. It's finally come to this.
Come to what?
Everyone wants to know about the lost page.
The lost page?
Yeah. It's a page the Master gave me. It doesn't exist in any of our books. It contains a passage about an inevitable betrayal. It talks about the one who bears the sigil. That's it. So, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. My role is to find out who it is. I suspected Ased and went to confront him. And what happened?
Why are you telling me this, Gula? I have enough to think about, keeping with the Master's teachings and my role.
Always walking the straight and narrow. I'm a fool for basing my actions on what is written on that lost page. Everything in the passage is ambiguous at best. That's why I need to find out.
But how?
By asking the Master.
But he's not here anymore.
I'm going to summon Kingdom Hearts.
What?
Then he'll have no choice but to come back.
Summoning Kingdom Hearts is forbidden!
That's exactly why. The only way to get him back is to break the rules. If things don't change, the entire world is doomed. But in order to go through with it, I'll need Lux. I don't have nearly enough. You always do the right thing. Help me with this.
I'm sorry. I know you want the Master to return. But you don't know how summoning Kingdom Hearts will affect the rest of the world. The Master forbid it for a reason. I'm afraid I can't help you.
I see. May your heart be your guiding key.
There's so much stuff that we're missing on this.
Oh, we've got plenty of time. We don't talk about it. We got this.
Ghoul is on a mission to collect Lux.
That explains why Ased and Ira are as well. They're trying to maintain the balance. But that isn't the balance we were expected to keep. If everyone's collecting light solely for themselves, Keyblade wielders will soon turn against one another, which will lead to the Keyblade War.
And what's written in the book, all of it will happen.
Light will expire.
Invi, what are you going to do?
I'll gather Lux too. No matter what, the balance must be kept. Ava.
They did everything they possibly could to, like,
delay the inevitable.
Get actors with, like, similar voices to play these roles.
I kind of feel like as much as people try to say that the Master of Masters is, like, neutral, you can't help but, like, look at all the stuff he set into place. And, like, it actually did happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just dipped out. It's like, here's the stuff that's gonna happen. Here's what's going on. I'm gone.
I'm gonna screw with you guys. Y'all deal with the aftermath. Deuces.
What's written in the last page of the book is gonna happen. The entire world will be lost to darkness.
But Master, isn't there anything we can do?
Well, that's what brings me to your role. You might just be the only hope of keeping light from expiring.
I just noticed something. Why does the Master of Masters sound like Axel?
Master.
I never thought about
what
it.
do you need me to do?
Don't get involved in any battles. Forget the notion of unions. Find Keyblade wielders with potential and create an entirely separate organization. Then, like the seeds of a dandelion,
Very true, Zoe. Very true.
let them fly to another world. They will keep the light alive.
You really think that I'm the right person for this?
Ava, you're the only person for this.
And it's all so cloaked in mystery. It's like, I don't feel like I've learned anything from watching this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I paid $49.99 for this game specifically for back cover key, hoping to get some more exposition, and they failed me on every front with this.
Session may seem familiar to you, but in a world that is different, one made of dreams, you are our hope. A war will soon wage. Those who strive to protect the light will turn their weapons on their allies for the sake of loyalty to their own unions. To be honest, I don't know how far I can guide all of you. What you must remember is that anyone can lose themselves to the darkness. However, there will be no winners. Everything will be lost.
And so they talked about all this stuff being lost.
All of
They could have done that in the video game.
When the time comes,
I want to play through Keyblade War.
there is war. You mustn't fight, but instead you must fly away from here to the world outside. This training is to help you fulfill this crucial task. The future is in all your hands, as is the world's light. May your hearts be your guiding key.
Which leaves us with Luxu.
That music, though.
The gazing eye? It's not what it's called.
Oh, what then?
Actually, no name.
No name.
Well, gazing or not, that Keyblade does have an eye in it. My eye, to be exact.
Ew! Oh, you think that's gross, do ya?
I hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Same.
Anyway, about your role. You need to pass down that Keyblade to your apprentice and then him to his, so that my eye can see the future.
So the Book of Prophecies.
Bingo! The fact that it exists is proof of your success. That means you trained a worthy apprentice, passed down that handsome Keyblade, and fulfilled your role. Congratulations! What's the matter? Come on, you did a fantastic job. At least smile a little.
But I haven't done anything yet.
Good point. Guess you better get started then. Unfortunately, you'll have to go alone from here on out. No Book of Prophecies to keep you company either. I can't have you causing any temporal paradoxes. But hey, we both know you'll do just fine without it, right?
Do I really have to go alone? What about the others?
Minor details, so don't
This heavy
sweat it.
trunk.
For now, you, that Keyblade, and
What's in the box?
this box need to stay out of sight. Just watch with your own eyes, and my eye, of course, as things unfold between the others. Then, when the time is right, go off and do your thing.
What's in it?
Well, Luxu knows what's in the
It's a
box.
secret. And, well, you see, the thing is, you can never, ever open it.
Great, now I really want to know.
All right, I'll indulge you. But this secret stays between the two of us, and you have to promise never to open the box.
I promise.
So apparently there's something in there that's going to do something.
You'll see.
I tried getting closer to them. I couldn't hear what they were saying, so I'm just as dumbfounded as the rest of y'all. Let's see. Source hole in the box.
May my heart be my guiding key.
I feel like. Go ahead.
I was saying, just like that, it's over.
And
I don't feel like I've learned anything.
No, not at all. Oh my god. I think I'm about to have another commercial in a second. I think there's one more thing at the end. Let's see. In my opinion, Tetsuya Nomura watched way too much of that movie 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Oh god. Let's see. Masters and Sora's dead.
You know what? At this point, I'll take anything.
I'll take anything.
But honestly, what I was thinking about was a lot of the different stuff that happened. A lot of it is actually starting to make sense. Like the traitor was this. Like a lot of it was like self-fulfilling in a kind of way.
Yeah.
Like he said, like he's like the traitor is this person, and that kind of pit at two different points. It was either Gula. I don't remember these dudes' names. Like. They're not very memorable. But it was Gula and the guy with the bear mask. The two of them seemed like at one point or another one of them could be the traitor, but at the same time it kind of seemed like they were playing the sides of the same point. It's like your job is the same thing, to just stay and wait for this quote unquote terrible unspeakable doom or whatever. But I'm thinking maybe that's what the whole traitor thing was to instigate something between them, to make them think that, there was some kind of darkness coming, and that was the darkness. Them.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe they themselves are the traitors against everything. Each person fighting for their own, like, light or whatever.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what it was talking about.
All right. Okay, before we get into the bulk of the discussion, I want to go ahead and thank each and every one of you guys for showing up today. We greatly appreciate it. And I want to go ahead and let you guys know that this stream is all about you guys. I know that when I've been streaming, when I play all my Kingdom Hearts games, whatever, everybody's got their own theories. They've got everything that they want to say about their own opinions, where they think Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to go based on the other games that they've played, based on things that they've read. This is your opportunity now to talk with other people of the community, to get things off your chest about what you feel is going to go on before we make it to Kingdom Hearts 3. So we'll be checking the chat to see what you guys are saying. We're going to be talking about some things we've been seeing, some things that we are hoping to see, and just talking about the franchise in general. So we're going to go ahead and sum up what we just watched here, and then move on to Birth by Sleep. So, final thoughts for what you witnessed, other than the fact that we honestly gained little to nothing from this. What else could... of merit could you say that you took from this?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like, if anything, I feel like we've gotten introduced to like a new part of the story that's going to be overall overbearing on the rest of it. Because I always told some of my friends, I was like, I don't know. After Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't know if I'm going to keep playing this game of this is just going to be the end of the Xehanort saga. There's more, But seeing now that there's actually something like a person that could have possibly orchestrated all of this with this quote-unquote book of prophecies, and that could have just set everything into motion, I'm kind of interested in it now. Re-interested. And I want to see, where exactly this is going to go. Like, who is the true Master of Masters? What is it that, he may have actually done? Why did all this actually happen? And I'm interested to see when they'll actually get to that. So I'm probably going to stick in for the long haul now.
You have to, right? I mean, everything that they've set up has just been like, okay, you got to keep watching this stuff. You gotta know what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah. But nowadays, it actually feels like I have a reason to, more so than just like, yeah, stick with it.
Exactly. While I find this so everybody's not drowned out by just our voices, one of the things I really want to tackle, one of the things I really want to talk about, is my own personal opinion of how I feel like the Master of Masters and the whole situation for everything from like Unchained Key was just representative of their depiction of like the origin of like, I don't want to call it religion, but I feel like it draws a lot of parallels from like Christianity and certain things. I take it from the same direction. You know how you have Adam and Eve. I picture them to be like the students to the Master of Masters, and I picture the Master of Masters like God. And he over there, he knew that what he was doing to set all these events in order. So he basically, in a sense, led everything up to like them betraying one another, knowing that that's what they would do. They didn't have any other bases to like trust each other based on knowing that he was the one true way to go. And then you've got to think, well, Kingdom Hearts existed before then. Like, why is the only person with any true knowledge of anything just the Master of Masters?
Right.
Why is he solo? And so that's one of those things that's always been like, okay, there's got to be a precursor to him. And even if there isn't a precursor to him, what makes this man so much more important than everybody else in the Kingdom Hearts mythos?
And see, like, it kind of made me think, like, someone brought up in the comments was a good point. They're like, maybe the part of the 13 Darknesses are the foretellers. It's possible. I don't know, I'm thinking, like, let's see. Like, yeah, there's definitely got to be something with him that he, told, that he knew all of this stuff. There's no doubt in my mind that he knew all of this would happen.
Exactly.
Just because too many things went down for him not to know. In my opinion. Let's see what the Master told, passed down the Keyblade to his apprentice. And see, like, yeah, that's another thing that IFQ Jesus brought up in the comments, was like, if you and I was telling Soul about this before the stream. It was like, if you look at it, every other game or something, there's something that happened where somebody got a blade that had that eye on it. There's the Master of the Masters Keyblade, then there was Master Xehanort, then there was forgot who it was after that. But eventually it became Riku, and Riku now has the Way to Dawn that has that same eye on it. So it's like, maybe that's what's going on now, I don't know.
That's a good point. Codex brought up a good point. We don't ever see the other books of prophecies ever again. Like, other than in back cover, those are the only mentions of those books.
True. Yeah, that's true. You don't ever actually hear about it. Like, not even from the first Kingdom Hearts game, nothing. I didn't think about that.
So it's been like super open-ended, and then we get the ending, we know the Keyblade War happens, and then there's a time skip, and then we make it all the way to Birth by Sleep. Right. Where all the crazy stuff has gone down, and everybody's lives ruined because Xehanort is a freaking asshole.
Yeah. And then he was right, too. The Master of Masters was studying Heartless, because he had those in the different books, too.
Exactly.
Like, Luxu had it. Dang, I can't remember the dude's name. The dude with the unicorn mask. It was in his book. So, yeah, a lot of people actually had it. It's crazy.
And so, one of those things that, if you think back later on in the series, one of those things that they were doing, they were experimenting with Heartless and stuff like that, what life is, in all their Heartless studies and whatnot. But these were things that they were already tackling prior to Xehanort seeking that stuff in Terra's body. And I want to know how certain questions like those hadn't been answered before. It was like you had never seen nobodies and stuff prior to this moment in time. So what a part of this lore became because of Xehanort? What happened before him, and what happened because of him? Did nobody spawn because Xehanort did his experiments and whatnot? Because we already know Heartless existed.
Right.
And if Heartless already existed, we know nobodies existed.
That is true. Because if you look at I don't know, because if you look at it too, let me think. Yeah, because they said, like, yeah, in the foretellers and all that, they said that, yeah, Heartless existed, but for some reason in Birth by Sleep, there were no Heartless, because remember, even when Aqua went to the realm of darkness, she was like, what are these things, dark beings, like, those are Heartless. They're only aware of the unversed, so something happened between the first game, between back cover and the rest of the stuff, you know, for them to not remember any of that. At least in my opinion.
So I'm thinking that there had to have been like a reset at some point in order for them to have dropped off like that.
Right. Maybe that was, I don't know, maybe that was because of the whole thing that they were talking about, you know, with the book. Not the book, but when they told Ava to go off to different worlds and everything like that, maybe that's how people eventually forgot.
Okay, so before we continue and hit on everything that is Birth by Sleep, there were parts that I understood and there were parts that didn't make much sense to me, so I'm going to try to word it as best as I can here. So, the game begins, we have Xehanort, and we've got a broken Ventus. So, when Ventus was broken, this was due to the fact that Xehanort split his heart, right? He split his heart in order, so he had one side that was completely light, being Ventus, and one side that was completely dark, being Vanitas. Those are the two sides. He had interacted with Sora on 2 occasions. But what were those 2 occasions? The second occasion being at the end of the game, when he's broken after the X-Blade is broken. But was he also the part that also mended him beforehand? After Xehanort broke him the first time? Was it a part of that healing process? What were the 2 cases where Sora was a part of Ventus? Because he returns to Sora at the end of the game, but he had met him prior.
I don't know. That's a good question. Because he has to... Yeah, he did have to have met him twice. I feel like I'm getting more questions than answers.
Okay, so that makes sense. According to Colomer Entertainment, he says when he first met Xehanort, that's when Ben ended up meeting Sora for the first time. So was it his, no, I'm going to call it his unborn heart, but like as he was being born, was that at that point in time, or like, there's things I understand as I'm playing the games, but then I go back and I think to myself, part of it doesn't make sense the way I want it to make sense. And a lot of Kingdom Hearts is like that for me.
Let's see. It's kind of hard to see from here. First medal. Yeah, on Xehanort first found event. Let's see. Maleficent talks about the book in Recoded, and the new KHD trailer mentioned the black box.
Okay. So, how much time passes between... So, we're going to assume then 4 years. So, based on that, that's what I thought. So, 4 years time passes. Vin doesn't look 4 years older. Just personal opinion. He doesn't look 4 years older between that time span.
Right.
And I mean, it's a little nitpick there, but I mean, when Sora aged that 1.5 year time spot between the first game and Kingdom Hearts 2, you could genuinely tell that he had aged. And
right.
When you see Ventus at the beginning, he looks the same age he does towards the end. Granted, there's also the representation of where he was in Unchained Key, where he's also supposed to take place there too. So I don't understand how Ventus ages. Ventus ages real weird in my opinion.
Let me see. Did Sora not see him in Castle Oblivion? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. Because that was a special room that was locked off that Xehanort or Xemnas has been looking for.
Yeah, that was Zigbar who saw Ventus, just because of different events from... It was in 358 Days Over 2, and I think not Birth by Sleep. There was another game that he saw Ven in, and that was outside of like the first games.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember it, especially 358 Days Over 2, there was a part where he saw Ventus.
And again, based on that logic, you're right. He is technically the oldest. but he looks the youngest. So, in my opinion, Ventus is over here found the fountain of youth or whatever, because he's over here being treated like the youngest when he interacts with Aqua and Terra. He looks the youngest specifically, and he doesn't seem like he ages like everybody else. So that in itself already seems a little odd.
Wait, Ventus was the dandelion?
Yeah, Ventus was the dandelion. You can see it based on some of Tetsuya Nomura's art. You can probably drink an elixir for life, LOL. Well, that's true too. Gerald does make a good point, but I want to argue that in the realm of darkness, you don't age the same. I could be wrong. I mean, it's never been confirmed or anything like that.
Well, they did allude to it. Aqua did say that in the realm of darkness, she said, "quote unquote," time like doesn't exist or like it doesn't pass.
You're right.
Because she's been there, she's looked the same, and like she even asked Mickey like how much time has actually passed. He was like 10 years.
That's very true. All right, so we've touched on Ventus a little bit. We'll come back to him. All right, so we pick back up with Aqua and Terra, and then we have the whole Mark of Mastery exam.
Yep.
All right, I understand it's just a personal opinion or whatever. I call BS on it. For a Mark of Mastery exam, for what we witnessed in Birth by Sleep, it was nowhere near what we witnessed Riku and Sora go through in a freaking Dream Drop Distance. That's no Mark of Mastery exam. But they're trying to drive the plot the way they did or whatever. But I digress. So Aqua becomes a master, and then Terra goes out trying to figure out what it takes to become a master, and then doing every single thing wrong on his journey to try to become the prodigal son. It was terrible.
Like, let me get into darkness a little bit. Maybe this was what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. Oh my god. So he's over there, he's ruining everything, trying to do right, and then Aqua's over there cleaning up messes. Well, meanwhile, Ben is over there fighting with Vanitas, and then we have those intertwining things. We go from world, being introduced as those early Disney princesses that we had never seen in the first game. Or at least they're worlds that we hadn't seen in the first game. And so I think the most important things that we should take away from Birth by Sleep, leading on into the future series, we have the inclusion of Vanitas, we have the death of Ericus, we have what little bit we get of Zigbar, and I guess Terra taking his eye for the most part. I guess that the little bit of backstory there, and then meeting some of the earlier members of the organization. And then we have the final fight going in to what was supposed to be the next recreation of the X-Blade and the opening of Kingdom Hearts. So, leading into that, what do you think is probably the most defining thing to take away from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
I honestly think the most defining part about Birth by Sleep is more so than anything that Xehanort was the one that kind of set things into motion to kind of, and it's somewhat speculation, but not really. But I think that Xehanort is wanting to replicate, well, they already said it, but is trying to replicate a lot of the stuff that's gone on in the past. Like, he has to, it kind of feel like he knows about a lot of things. Like, that's what I was saying. I think that it's possible that Xehanort is this quote-unquote traitor that they're talking about. Because if you really look at it, nobody really betrayed anyone until some point later on in time, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what I think. And more so than anything, I think that he's kind of become the character of interest, the one person that, if we want to learn anything about what's really going on, about what may or may not have happened or something, that he would be the character that we want to focus on.
I missed it. I'm sorry. I was having a response. So, you had asked me something a second ago. I want to make sure that we're not staring anybody wrong. Somebody brought up I never knew Terranort was Ansem the Wise. You didn't bring that up, did you?
Terra... Oh, no, I never said that.
Okay, just make sure. I was trying to listen to multitask.
Oh, no, I was just saying that I think that Xehanort could possibly actually be this traitor, because if you look at it before, nobody betrayed anybody, or really, it seemed like everybody was on the same, same page.
Mm-hmm.
But It's only until later on that this actually happened. The person that betrayed everybody, the person that stepped into darkness, the person that brought about the Keyblade War. And I'm thinking that maybe that was just everyone misinterpreting what the Master of Masters was saying. And they brought about the first Keyblade War and, you know, self-replicating years later or something.
Exactly. And so, we know that the Keyblade War spawned the fascination for Xehanort, and then it led to everything. It broke Vin's heart, it separated it, and now he's sleeping. It locked Aqua into the realm of darkness, and it took Terra's body. I hate to jump forward too far in advance, but we know that based on what was said in Dream Drop Distance towards the end, Mickey points out that the Keyblade wielders needed to open up or to clash with the 13 Darknesses will include Sora, Riku himself, his 3 missing friends, which have to include Ventus, Terra, and Aqua, and they needed one more. And then it's revealed towards the end of the game that Axel will be the next Keyblade wielder in training. So I can see waking up Vin. I can see that. That's fine. I can see rescuing Aqua from the realm of darkness. Where do you stand on how Terra comes back?
I honestly don't think Terra is going to come back. Just because they have his body. Like, that's literally him now. Like, he is Xehanort. Of course, there's the whole thing with the lingering will and all that. But at the same time, I just don't see him coming back. I think he may be the one that's lost to the darkness or whatever. And then you kind of have to think about it too. It's like, I don't know, when they say seven lights, okay, let's see. Aqua, Terra, Ven, Mickey, Sora, Riku. That leaves like what? Kairi and like a few other people that got Keyblades randomly or something. Then you have Roxas, Shion. It's like somebody isn't going to make it.
Well, if you think about it, Roxas and Shion basically can't participate because they are Sora, essentially.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Let's see.
I don't know. I don't think Terra's going to come back, though.
I feel like he has to, though. I feel like, just in my personal opinion, I feel like if anybody's going to do in Xehanort, I feel like Terra has to be the one to do it. I'm pretty sure he's the only one that could properly backhand him with the Keyblade the right way. But, there was a part, somebody mentioned something that caught my eye a second ago. They were missing one. Colmar Entertainment said that the 7 included Sora, Riku, Kairi, Ven, Terra, and Aqua. That was only 6. I'm going to assume he's going to throw Mickey in there, but we know that Axel is supposed to be one of the next wielders. And
so that's like, what, 8?
That'd be 8, but I don't put Kairi in there because I still know that you need the 7 Princesses of Heart. So if you take her out as one of the Keyblade wielders, right. I mean, just in terms of numbers, you've satisfied the equation, but I still feel like they're going to want to keep the 7 Princesses separate, the 7 wielders separate, and the 13 Darknesses separate. Which is part of the reason why I assume that Terra is going to take the place of Kairi, and that's why Axel will also be a part of that number.
Right. I guess that would make sense.
Alright, so at one point in time, Andre brought to my attention that there was a theory that he was coming up with for how it could possibly work. Andre, if you can, for me again, kind of jot that down so I can kind of touch on it the way, that way I don't get it completely wrong. How you were suspecting that the whole series might go in that direction. And a lot of it has to do with the 3 Keyblades that are seen in the secret movie of Kingdom Hearts 2, where it features Riku's Wedge to the Dawn Keyblade, Sora's Kingdom Key, and then Mickey's Keyblade, sitting out in front of the of Terra, Aqua, and Ventus right before their game ends or whatever. If I remember correctly, when they ended up doing it in Birth by Sleep, part of that scene was omitted, and I'm personally curious to whether or not it was because they decided to go a different direction with that, whether or not they decided that they wanted to make it a prequel instead of a third game setup. But the way he kind of set it up makes sense, but I also don't agree with it entirely. Let me see if he can get it in the chat for us. Because if you think about it, the inclusion of their 3 Keyblades kind of wants to set it farther in the future. If Aqua, Terra, and Ventus are able to get a good look at them, or if they're able to interact with them. But I also like to think that Keyblades aren't necessarily just forged. I mean, in a sense, I feel like they are, but at the same time, I also think that that entire lifeless Keyblade graveyard, I feel like at some point in time, those keys go to people. Maybe that's because I'm a Green Lantern fan, and I feel like when a wielder dies of a Green Lantern ring, its ring eventually finds a new host or whatever, or a new wielder. But I still feel like those keys still serve some form of purpose.
Right.
Because I feel like anybody can't just enter the Keyblade graveyard and pick one up. Oh, it was a lifeless key. I can be a Keyblade wielder now, or I have this Keyblade now. Granted, I don't think it would work for them, but I don't feel like anybody could just take those. I feel like they still have the ability to choose new wielders.
Yeah, because if you look at it too, like, I think it's like you said, like, I don't know. Because if you look at it, it's like, yeah, Keyblade chose Sword, Keyblade. Keyblades just choose people, like, all the time now. I don't think all those Keyblades are just done.
What I can do is I'll pull up the secret movie right quick so we can get another look at that. Alright, let's go ahead and pull that up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Look as sinister as ever. One thing that happened in this movie here that doesn't actually happen in the game, Ben's Keyblade breaks here.
He put him on ice. Wait for it. Aqua looks up. No, Vin. And then he opens up the sky to reveal Kingdom Hearts, which we still don't know what it is.
I have no idea what the heck it is.
They need to just come out and tell. Like, they shouldn't have gone this far into the series without
defining what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so because it's still a theory, it's still a valid theory. But I also want to argue that it's probably, in the best case scenario, one of those things where they thought that they were going to make a sequel to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yep.
And then it ended up deciding to go, you know what, let's do a prequel. Let's start doing things that way. So I think that that's probably what those Keyblades were alluding to. At least here in the video, that's probably why they were omitted when they were put in Birth by Sleep. I think that's personally what it is. Because I want to go back a second and reread how you set it up. Let's see. That Xehanort killed all the Keybladers and won the war, but killed Terra before he took his body. And so he went back in time to get a younger body. Let's see. Is the Xehanort report secret? Okay. Alright, let's go back. I found the wrong one. Let me see. Let's see. Warrant. Secret ending. I'm guessing it's this one. Alright, let's check it out.
Darkness rules your heart. It gives me control. Muscle and sinew that once obeyed you now rebels against you. How you can remain here at all confounds the mind.
It's still my heart.
I've seen this once, but a long time ago.
I'm not going to sit by and let that happen.
Don't even entertain any notions of escaping me, boy. In the end, your heart will be engulfed by mine forever.
Wrong. You're gonna get shown the door, old man.
As I recall, you couldn't even handle your own darkness.
No. Send me a link, so that way I've got it.
You'll find out soon enough.
I didn't get this one.
Oh, so that's how it is it? Someone else has set foot in your heart. Ericus, you sly fox.
I'm not afraid of what the darkness holds now. Even if you do wrest control of my heart from me. Even if you cast me into the deepest, darkest abyss. You'll never sway me from the one cause that pushes me to keep on fighting. Whatever the cost, I'm ready to pay it.
Brave words, to be sure. But I'm a patient man. We can take as much time as we need to settle this little property dispute. However, know this. You are just one of many roads that I might choose to take. Trust me, I made certain of that.
Ah, I see. So that that actually, to me, that cutscene with Xehanort and and Terra actually does say something. So even if it doesn't work out with him, he's got other avenues for where he could choose to go at. Okay.
Exactly.
So he could actually come back. Okay. Okay, I see what people are talking about now.
Just gotta check. As if. Well, don't sweat it. I got your back.
It's on the pillar in the front of the mansion in KH2. It is?
I'll have to find that. I guess as we get closer to Kingdom Hearts 2 talking about that, we can look for it. This is 12 minutes. Alright. I don't know if I've seen the rest of this, but we'll let it... Okay. So we'll pause that after this scene. And then we'll move further along. Alright, I'm gonna pause it here. Alright. Apologize, Andre, if we didn't quite get the full gist of the your theory that we're trying to get. But we'll come back to it if we get the opportunity. You want to move ahead a little further to touch on some of the elements of Kingdom Hearts? The first one?
Yeah, I'm not sure what parts, because I haven't played too much of the first one. But, let's see. What parts did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, I guess if we're trying to discover what Kingdom Hearts as a whole is in general, and like Xehanort's plan for what he wants to conquer, I think the biggest two parts that are like given to us are at the very beginning and at the very end. Like, for those of us that have played Kingdom Hearts, we know the fluff of it, so we can kind of skip a little bit of that. We can talk at the very beginning how the man in the brown coat first is introduced to Sora, which is his very first introduction into the game. And then we can talk about at the end how we were later introduced to Ansem the Wise. My bad. The Seeker of Darkness. That's the one I want. And how we're introduced to the concept of Heartless or whatever, how they define them as Heartless, and then the Door to Darkness.
Okay. Let me see. Well, I'm still pretty new on the guy in the brown coat, but I do know who you're talking about, though, on that. I guess the best way to define, like, at least for what I've been told, from what I've kind of gathered, is that, in my mind, Kingdom Hearts isn't really light or darkness. And that's strictly saying just because of the thought that people are saying is like, remember, you can't have light without darkness. And it's like, and like you were saying before, at one time, they opened up the door to darkness and light came out of it. So it's kind of like, you know, what the heck's going on there? I don't necessarily know if it's light or dark, but I don't think it's either one of those on that regard. And even with the elements of that, I still don't think we have a clear idea of what it really is. Like, is it a force? Is it power? Like, what exactly is it? You know?
So, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I'm not going to say I've got all my Kingdom Hearts lore and stuff perfectly right. I played all the games. I've went back and read everything over and over again. And to this day, I still don't have everything down. The man in the brown coat was Xehanort, without a body. Yeah, it's confusing, right? It's all, like, everything gets super confusing when you enter Dream Drop Distance and they introduce the element of time travel. Once time travel enters Kingdom Hearts, everything gets super convoluted. So, based on my knowledge and understanding that was Xehanort, Xehanort talks to Sora at one point in time. But, based on cutscenes from Dream Drop Distance, which we'll get to in the future, he also communicates with his younger self to let his younger self know what events to take in order to get to the present day, in order to make sure that everything happens by the end of Dream Drop Distance to set up for Kingdom Hearts 3. The man in the brown coat, which is still Xehanort, is important, and yet not important at the same time, because at what point in time did he exist at that point? At what point in time could he have existed without his heart to take on that form in order to relay that message, when at the point in time how does he go back in time to... I'm confusing myself, because it's so... They want the series to make sense, for all intents and purposes.
You lost me at time travel.
Because he takes Terra's body at some point, so he could lead everything up to there, to where we're in the future now. But before he took Terra's body, he has a whole past and everything before then. At what point in time does he sever from his heart in order to tell himself that, to know to go back in time in order to do that stuff? And I probably explained it all weird, so I'm probably messing with you guys. My bad.
So let me see. Let me see if I have this right. So at some point, so before he didn't have a body, but he had a past and all of that leading up to that point. But between the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Birth by Sleep, he had to have lost his body in order to have met Sora and all of that?
Yeah.
That is a good question, because all of that takes place afterwards. Seeing the events of the first Kingdom Hearts game. And he had Terra's body. When was this? That don't make any sense at all.
And like I said, go ahead and, if you read the chat still, read Jalen's comment a second, which is still basically what we're explaining. So, you're right. Basically, Ansem, the Secret of Darkness, in the robe, tells young Xehanort to travel in time to set in motion the events of the entire series. You're right. But at what point in time does he become the man in the robe, and how? At what point in time does he become that freed heart that takes the form of the man in the robe?
Because remember, he has to have lost his body in order for that to happen, to have met Sora. But he had his body because he had Terra's. So how did he talk to Sora? Or was that even Xehanort in the first place?
So he grew up to be old, lost his heart, and became Terra next, and started on his next life. It seems like a splitting of sorts, in my opinion. Because when Terra was setting that, he splits into... I found a video that's like 25 minutes long with Terra holding his Keyblade. Let's see. Welcome to the stream, Rumpke Wubs. Glad to have you. Like, the whole situation is confusing. You can try to explain it 6 ways to Sunday. Some people might get it and understand it for what it's worth, but it's still, as much as I love this series, still confuses the heck out of me.
Basically, after Jesus, it's like this. So, with Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, we know that Old Man Xehanort, we'll call him that just to separate him from any other Xehanorts. The Old Man Xehanort of Birth by Sleep lost his body and got Terra's body. But at some point in time, during Kingdom Hearts 1, at the very beginning of the game, you might remember there's like some dude in like a brown robe or whatever that was like, said something about like darkness or something along those lines, and then he just disappeared, right? That was supposed to be him. So at what point in time could that have been him? If Xehanort already had a body.
Okay, so based on the way the OBS does things, I can't find the video that Andre's looking for, and I apologize for that. But if I'm able to get to it, I'll show you guys shortly. So, trying to move past that convoluted mess, we go to Chain of Memories, and my God, we moved to Chain of Memories. I hate that game. Okay. But Birth by Sleep kind of shed some light on some things. So, we know that the only real reason that Castle Oblivion exists is to house Vin, and is to throw off everybody else that's looking for that place. We know this. We know that the organization was sent on a secret mission to look for something for Xemnas. They had no idea what it was, and then the group of Organization 13 members that went rogue because they had their own intentions in mind or whatever, and they defected, got defeated, and Xemnas to this day still never found what he was looking for. He never found Ventus. So, before we move past this, one of those things that never made sense to me, Xehanort needed a heart of pure light and pure darkness to clash with one another in order to form the Keyblade. Why specifically Ventus? I mean, he made his pure light and pure darkness by extracting the darkness from Ventus. He could have done that with anybody. Why specifically him? After all this time, after all this waiting, after everything that he's done, why did he use that one character as that failsafe for that plan that could have gone wrong? Instead of having multiple backup plans, instead of the whole time travel convolutedness that we have, why didn't he have other people waiting to fill that role?
Because Kingdom Hearts, that's why.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Let's see. It says, which Ansem in the robe are you guys talking about? I'm talking about the one at the very beginning that talks to Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1, when the immediate door is open and Kairi's heart ends up going into Sora during that initial scene there. That's the man in the robe that we're talking about. All these damn A's and X's. And some Terranor Tartlets, yeah. He said Roxas. Okay. God, I didn't think how hard and difficult this would be, but I knew it would be a chore making this video. Okay. What were we talking about before? We were still talking about,
Chain of Memories.
Chain of Memories. God darn Chain of Memories. Okay. Do you have an opinion on that? Why he ended up doing or only using Ventus? Like, what do you think makes Ventus so special to fill that role?
I'm thinking it's probably because he was like the first person he came across to put his plan into action. Because, I mean, if you look at it, he just came across him standing on a beach. It was like, just, I guess, went from there. Let's see.
That actually makes sense. That does make sense.
Because, I mean, I'm thinking that maybe it was because at the time when Ventus was, like, first born or something like that, maybe he didn't have a chance to, like, have darkness or something like that. I don't know.
Jalen put a comment in here that makes sense to me. Well, there's a theory that Xemnas made the Chamber of Repose to remember what happened because Aqua made him lose his memories as Terranort, so he would talk to Aqua's armor trying to remember his friends. Have you been introduced to the Chamber of Repose? It was introduced in the Final Mix version of Kingdom Hearts 2.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. I haven't played the Final Mix version.
It's one of those things that I think is a nice touch that they added into the games. It really caught me off guard when I played the Final Mix version for the first time. Alright, let's see. So maybe it's part of Terra trying to remember his friends and protect them. Could be, I can see that. Which is all another reason I'm asking, how would Terra possibly make a return? I mean...
He's been split so many different ways.
Had his genes spliced everywhere, all 6 ways to Sunday. But yeah, I guess that was the main thing that Chain of Memories encompassed. Whether Sora lost his memories or not and all that stuff, that leads into the plot of the second game, but as like the overarching plot of the entire series, the only real thing that matters that you find out later that has anything to do with Castle Oblivion, other than meeting like Ansem the Wise and Naminé, was the fact that you find out that Castle Oblivion housed Ventus. And so, moving on to Kingdom Hearts 2, we're truly introduced to like the full bulk of Organization 13 and their quest to... Now, Xemnas said it a whole bunch. I knew what he wanted, but what he wanted didn't make sense. He was one of those classic acts of wanting to be human, but didn't want to be human.
Right.
To denounce and say that hearts were those things that made people special or whatever, but like to crap on them like, well, hearts make people weak and stuff like that. It was one of those things that you see, one of those classic tropes you see in like movies and sci-fi video games and stuff like that. From Kingdom Hearts 2, what are some of those major plot points that you think truly kind of define moving forward as into what is Kingdom Hearts?
I don't know. I kind of feel like, because now that I think about it, it does kind of, I guess, ask a question. It's like what we were saying before. It's like it's some kind of force, but at the same time, it's like they're collecting hearts to trying to gain hearts of their own. It's like, is it a world? Is it like... Is there some kind of power that people can get? I don't know. I don't, like... Then they say that, oh, it's a power of light, it's a power of darkness, it's this, that, and the other. I still don't know we have a clear idea what it is. Like, if we have... I mean...
Kingdom Hearts is a game. We're talking about the meta. We're trying to figure out what the meta is.
Because, like, if you really look at it, it's like I was saying, it's like, you know, we've gotten a lot of stuff in the past that have said it was light, it was darkness. Then we've gotten things saying that all these hearts from the Heartless come together and make Kingdom Hearts, and then that whole classic Zemnis speech of "Fill me with your darkness." But I don't think that we really know what it is. I don't think we've gotten a clear definition, anything that's really defining it. I mean, I want to say it's a world of some kind in the series, because obviously everyone's seeking it for some reason. For like Ansem, or not Ansem, but Old Man Xehanort, he's seeking it for what seems like power reasons. Zemnis is seeking it because he apparently wants a heart of some kind. There's that. And so I guess maybe it's a cross between the two. Maybe Kingdom Hearts is what creates people in the world of Kingdom Hearts. And Zemnis figures that if he can get a heart from that, maybe that's how he can become whole again. And Old Man Xehanort wants Kingdom Hearts because he realizes that if he can control that, he can control how everything works all together. I don't know. I think that's probably the closest I'll ever get.
Jalen D put in the chat that Kingdom Hearts is literally just light of everything, but we don't know what will, the one who finds it, what it will grant the one who finds it. And like, I agree with that. But then, if you have something that's like pure light, and you open it up like in the first game, and it like killed Ansem, why on the other side of it was there no light? On the other side of that door, we found the realm of darkness. Like, there was no light to be seen on that side. Like, I feel like at times, and you can argue with me back and forth. We can talk about this depending on who wants to go back and forth with me. But I feel like Kingdom Hearts has always been a contradictory statement depending on who's looking for it or what they want from it. At one point in time, Kingdom Hearts will be one thing. At another point in time, Kingdom Hearts will be another thing. And different groups, different organizations, different people have been searching for it, hoping that it fulfills this grand master insert here. Like, it has never made much sense.
Let me see. Yeah, it's according to Mickey, it was a smaller version of Kingdom Hearts. But even then, even if it's just a smaller version of Kingdom Hearts, it would still reflect what the actual Kingdom Hearts is, right?
Yes, in my opinion, that's exactly what I'm saying. Whether it's a small version or a big version, I still don't understand why it would do that. And even so, we're talking about the door that led into supposedly Kingdom Hearts. But that door also considered to be the door to darkness. You open the door to darkness, and you get light. Once the light gets done annihilating him, you get the darkness.
And then that's that whole contradictory statement of like Kingdom Hearts, it's darkness. Then you have, again, the 13 darknesses who want to seek darkness from Kingdom Hearts. And you have the 7 lights who apparently want to protect it or watch over it or something along those lines. And that kind of leads back into what I was thinking about back cover. Remember they were saying 7?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe that's what they were thinking about. Maybe they're, as the 7 lights, maybe they're not meant to really seek out Kingdom Hearts per se.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not meant to seek out Kingdom Hearts per se so much as just watch over it.
But it's strange. All right, before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. I finally found the one that Andre was talking about. So let's go ahead and take a look at this right quick. And I've seen this before. I prefer to be a nobody first. Excuse me.
Tara looking like Batman. Oh yeah, those are the Keyblades of like Sora and them, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the point I was bringing up earlier.
Was it the Kingdom Key D?
Yeah.
Yeah, these Keyblades got to come back at some point.
And that's assuming that they end up redoing everything, that they end up going back in time, or make sure I get that right. Okay. And I guess I could see that. I still feel like it's one of those things. Granted, Tetsuya Nomura has always been really good with making sure everything that he makes is usually in canon, but I still feel that to have planned it that far in advance, that way it fits in that way, I don't know. It still feels a little off to me now. If it works, hey, I'd love to see it work. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's fully put together, in my opinion. Because time travel here just continues to kind of mess with me the way that things have to go.
Right. Oh, that's time travel for you, I guess. Final battle in KH3 is going to take place back in time. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. What if everything that took place in the future, like the whole Keyblade, the quote-unquote Keyblade War, what if that was caused by, like, Sora and all of them in the future?
That'd be some crazy shit right there. I'm going to tell you that. That'd be some crazy shit. Okay, so I know we've missed a couple of things, and we'll probably have to make another video, because I honestly didn't see how daunting that this task would be. But, moving from Kingdom Hearts 2, I think we need to take a step backwards, because I forgot one. Here's one that you can touch on pretty great. Let's take a step backwards right quick and touch on some of the elements that you think are pretty impressive or pretty important leading into Kingdom Hearts 3 from 358 over 2.
So with 358 Days over 2, I kind of feel like, honestly, that I don't know. I kind of feel like with these games, it's pretty important in the sense that even though they created a character that literally everyone forgot about, Shion, it kind of brings up a good point with Roxas. Like, is Roxas going to come back in Kingdom Hearts 3? Because even though he's just literally a part of Sora and all this stuff, he actually really did live out like his life separate from Ventus, and Sora alike. And as important as a character that he is to Sora, and with a lot of the different things that happen between Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, and what was it? Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know. I forgot that one. But even though a lot of those different events, he's played an important role in that. I've heard a lot of people talk about, whether or not he'll actually come back, because you kind of ask, like, will he play any real importance? The only reason Roxas looks like he does is because of Ventus,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, the only real purpose that we need is like, yeah, Ventus was put to sleep for a reason, for his heart to be put back together. And it's like, well, now that his heart is put back together, it's like, why would we need Roxas to come back?
Do you remember that scene towards the end of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Orchestra trailer that came out in June?
Let me see. I think so. Hold on. Roomkey Wubs asked, what happened at the end of... Oh, basically at the end of 358 Days over 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 happens. That's no exaggeration. That's exactly what happens.
I don't think Shion is really gone. I think she will be a vessel of some sort. And I want to know how Shion could possibly make a return.
And see, like, because, yeah, that's the thing. Shion was just a replica. Shion really didn't have a reason to exist. Literally everyone forgot about her. Like, they see her and they're like, huh. And, I mean, she lives on in the memories of Roxas, but even then, she doesn't really have any reason to come back, because the only reason she exists is because she had part of the memories of Sora. Matter of fact, she was going to be used to make an artificial Sora. I don't know if you remember that. But she doesn't really have a reason to come back. I don't think Ventus is just sitting there getting his heart restored. Sora has to go to Ven give him his heart back because it's been taking refuge inside Sora's. Yeah, probably.
So I want to take a look at this trailer right fast, because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. There was something towards the end of the trailer where Xemnas and Ansem were talking to Sora, and they think they bring up Roxas at some point in time, or something that kind of alludes to Roxas.
It's like towards the end, he's like, "Did you bring Roxas back?" Something like that.
Yeah. And we can just watch this amazing trailer again. Jesus, every time I watch this is freaking spectacular. You know what? That's a good question, Grey Ghost. Well, she wasn't human to begin with, necessarily. She wasn't, like, a true human, so I don't feel like if she died or had her heart taken, that this would, like, separate her into a heartless or a nobody. I think the same way with, like, Replica Riku from, Rechain of Memories, or Chain of Memories. What were you gonna say, Mikkel?
Let me see. Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I don't think there's a way for her to come back. Yeah, just because, you know, like they were saying, what did I forget? Yeah, she came back. She can't come back because she's literally just a vessel to recreate Sora. Because they figured, well, okay, if we can't get Sora back, you know, or if we can't get our hands on Sora, then we got Roxas. We got the next best thing, you know, Keyblade War. But it's like, okay, Roxas is starting to defect. Okay, well, we have Xion. Xion's going to go and destroy Roxas. It's all good. She's starting to look like Sora. She's going to get his memories and abilities, and so we got Kingdom Hearts. Basically, they figured if they can't get Sora under their control, they're just going to make one.
Alright, we'll get to your next point in just a second, Jalen. We'll look at that in just a second. Yes. So we'll get to that too, Code Nixon. Okay. So is that scene right there? We'll pause it. Okay. How do you expect to bring back Roxas when he should never have existed in the first place? So, based on the way that that is phrased, I assume we're already looking for a reason to bring back Roxas. Question is, so a lot of people have been speculating, is he going to come back? Is he not going to come back? Apparently, they're looking to bring him back, or looking for him for some reason. Why? I mean, what purpose does Sora's Nobody possibly play that has an overarching sense of necessity that leads into the supposedly final battle of Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, that's true.
That's one of those things that just hasn't made sense to me, granted, because we haven't seen what the full plot of this game is, because they could introduce so many more elements that can make them more relevant again. But it just... I want to know if it's one of those decisions that could have been for fan service that could lead into the progression of the story, or if it was something that was always intended.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's something along the lines of... Because if you really look at it... Because he said, like, it was a conversation, I think, with Roxas and Sora, like, after you beat him or something like that. He's like, you make a good other. He's like, no, you deserve to have your own life, this, that, and the other. So I think it's just, like, Sora's way of, like, trying to make everything right, bring everybody back. His goody two-shoes kind of way. Yeah.
And I think there was a point in time, whether he was kidding with him or not, Riku talked to Sora at one point and was like, Roxas is always with you. And based on the way that Kingdom Hearts is set up, all the ways that they intermingle with one another, I still feel like if he wanted to conversate or if he needed anything from Roxas, he could talk to Roxas on like that meta-personal level.
Right.
So like him needing to physically be another presence in Kingdom Hearts 3 is something kind of special and something that's kind of... Why? Why is he needing to come back? Okay. Huh. And I could also see that too, in a way, if you want to read Andre's comment right fast if you haven't already. I'm going to go back up. Wait, can we talk about... let's see. Can we talk about why Dark Riku looks like Vanitas? That's always puzzled me. Are we just talking about his costume? If we're just talking about his costume... I don't know. I think maybe it was a design choice. It was also... I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe that was just what they wanted darkness to be depicted as, if you were, like, under the rule of darkness. Granted, Dark Riku's costume was a Heartless-based costume, as seen as the emblem on his chest. Why Vanitas was done that way, I'm not sure. That's a good question. Do you have any opinions on that, Mikkel?
I'm not too sure. I mean, honestly, I think it was just a design choice. Just to be like, if anything, more so than anything else, I think it was just a choice by design. If there was something, I think they would have probably hinted at it a little bit more.
As I also want to say that making Vanitas physically look like Sora was probably also a sense of fan service. Yes, they made it tie into the story to where it makes sense. You understand why he looks like him. But I also think it was one of those shock and awe aspects that they wanted to throw back into the story, personally. Because they could have just as easily made him look like somebody else, and it would have still had maybe about the same impact.
Right.
So I think it's one of those things. Code Nixon brings up Maleficent is looking for Lushu's box. Yes, and that is the big driving thing in Kingdom Hearts 3. Back cover introduced the box at the very earliest end of the storyline, and now we're going to have to search for this box towards the end of the Xehanort arc. Now it's finally becoming relevant again.
Right.
And so
something is in that box that's obviously going to cause something, because he's like, well, what? But why? You'll see.
Exactly. So what is it? We don't know. I think somebody speculated at one point in time, if you count all the insignias and all the pendants and stuff around the box, I think it equals 13 on one side, 7 on another side, which is actually really cool in design choice, I think, if they played particular attention to that. But technically, she died by Keyblade, and Sora, for some reason, has a heart that nobody else in the universe. I do agree with that. Like, Sora is able to have so many things not apply to him the way it would apply to other people. He's got that pro-tag protection, is what I say.
Yeah.
And for some reason, basically, like, things just don't affect him the way it affects everybody else. Like, when Kairi lost her heart, granted, I guess she was a Princess of Heart. I don't remember if they explained that 100%. She didn't necessarily become a Heartless. She did get a nobody. Or maybe she did get a Heartless and we slayed it at one point and we didn't know about it. It was one of those random Heartless in the games. We'll never know. But, the same way that Kairi had that affection towards that one Shadow Heartless and knew it was Sora, I'm pretty sure Sora's not that dense. If he had come across Kairi's Heartless, he would have felt something.
Right.
So it's one of those things. Maybe Princesses of Heart can't get Heartless. I think they might have brought it up. I can't remember so much.
I don't think they can, because if your heart is made entirely out of light and there's no darkness, how can you have a Heartless?
And I understand that, but when you want to say that when you lose your heart, you split into a Heartless and a nobody, I still feel like there has to be another side of that equation. You can't just become a nobody.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I still feel like if you're gonna try to make all ends fit, all ends have to fit. Let's see. Goodness, I am running behind on some of these. Let's see. Message. 2 hours of stream. I'm not sure if you guys are halfway done. We're about to sum it up in a minute because we could probably go on forever. We're probably going to conclude this stream soon. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. It's been one crazy heck of a ride trying to do all this stuff. And it's been a pleasure to be discussing all this stuff with you guys. So I, again, want to thank you guys for all of this stuff that you've done with us. Let's see. The Power of Waking, I can see that. Yeah, the costumes do look similar. What if Twilight Town was one day... was once Daybreak Town. Huh. Was once Daybreak Town. It'd be interesting. I find it weird that all these towns could be other towns, though. I see how it works for Twilight Town. Not Twilight, my bad. Castle Oblivion, how it used to be the Land of Departure, and how it became its own new world. But I don't know. I don't know how many of these other worlds could be these other worlds. Let's see. There was a reason why Kairi didn't turn into a Heartless, but the main reason is because she's a princess. That's what I thought. I thought the Princesses of Heart also had that Heartless pro-tag protection, but it was one of those things. We're gonna have everybody read my comment. Let's see. Apparently, Twilight Town is the tutorial world of Kingdom Hearts 3. I did read that. I did read that Twilight Town was supposed to be the tutorial world of Kingdom Hearts 3. You're reading the comments too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
It makes sense that Roxas should be the one to wake Ven up. I mean, it would make sense, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Roxas shouldn't exist. Kind of feel like Sora should be the one to wake him up, in a sense, just because he has his heart. But I get what you're saying, because he's technically his nobody.
I've got to see that. Let me see if I can find that image right quick. They brought it up again, how the image of the unicorn foreteller appears on the mansion. And I might have missed that. Let's see. Let's see.
I mean, yeah, Jalen has a point. I mean, why Roxas would look like, look like, dang, I don't know, why he would look like Ventus. Because if you look at it, Xemnas is basically, if not exactly Xehanort, with Terra, that kind of thing. Or I should say Ansem. Ansem, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Xemnas is basically Ansem at that time. And so it makes sense.
I didn't realize it, now that I'm looking through it. There are a bunch of allusions to the unicorn inside of Twilight Town.
Oh, what, the mansion?
Not just the mansion. Like, if you look on like other places specifically in the town, I saw a bunch of other images when I just Google searched it. There are like statues of unicorns all throughout Twilight Town and whatnot. That's kind of interesting.
Let's see.
Which in its own right does make this world a lot more special.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. The clock tower, statues.
That's good. That's right, Ira was his name. Huh. Well, that's incredibly daunting. Alright, so let's tackle one more thing before we end the stream, because based on a lot of these comments, we've got a lot more things to talk about, which we knew going in, which we can tackle in another stream. I haven't beat it yet, and this is one of those things I was hoping to talk about once I finished it. Well, I beat it before, but I haven't beat it for my live stream. Let's talk about a little bit of Dream Drop Distance, because things kind of get a little hectic in that one. That's when we start getting introduced to the whole time travel element. That's when we start getting introduced to the new 13 Darknesses. That's when we start getting introduced to a whole lot of these new plot devices that will be the catapult into Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so
I'll let you start that one, because I haven't played it yet.
Okay, so we all know the game starts off with the Mark of Mastery exam, and we go through, and and by the end of it, we learn that Riku is the new master, and at some point in time, Sora's going to have to go back through and relearn a bunch of his old things in order to have the skills it takes to become a master later. That's fine, we know that. The most important things, if we take nothing away from the rest of this game, happens in the very last acts of both Sora's story and Riku's story. And actually, as a matter of fact, I kind of want to play some of those scenes, because out of all the Kingdom Hearts games, I think Dream Drop Distance might be my weakest, only because I've only gone through it once. Let me see if I can find that particular scene.
Oh yeah, he's right. Code Nixon was saying that the true Organization 13 could be a separate group that was trained from the unions, because he did say, I mean, I don't want to be too literal, but he did say, go off, form your own organization.
That's true. It's interesting. Let me see if I can find exactly what I'm looking for. Nope. I don't want the actual gameplay. I just want the cutscenes. Oh god, this hellish battle this was. I argue the hardest battle in all of Kingdom Hearts. No, my bad. That's still the Lingering Will.
Thanks, Mickey.
Okay, we'll start here.
about you.
All of this was decided. My 12 selves would welcome me here on this day, when I would return a complete person. It is the future which lies beyond my sight.
Why are you doing this?
In ancient times, people believed that light was a gift from an unseen...
Okay, before we continue, going based on Andre's theory earlier. So he says it's the future that lies beyond his sight. For a man that's trying to see the future, I couldn't imagine going back to the past to move forward again. I mean, maybe I'm not fully grasping the direction that he's trying to explain for his theory. I'll have to go back through and talk with him about that some more again. But it seems really weird how much back and forth he has to do in order to accomplish moving forward.
Right.
Alright, so let me go ahead and play it again.
Seen land by the name of Kingdom Hearts. But Kingdom Hearts was safeguarded by its counterpart, the Keyblade. Warriors vied for that precious light, thus beginning the Keyblade War. The violent clash shattered the Keyblade into 20 pieces, 7 of light and 13 of darkness. And the only real Kingdom Hearts was swallowed by the darkness, never to surface again. I once tried to create my own pure light and darkness to forge the Keyblade. But the attempt...
Sorry to pause it again. Why specifically Ventus? Why just Ventus?
ended in failure. In my eagerness, I had lost sight of the correct way to achieve my goal. I acted rashly. I can admit that now.
What you did back then, your mistakes, changed the destinies of 3 of my friends.
Ah, but destiny is never left to chance. I merely guided them to their proper places. The broken boy who failed to be the blade. The misguided master who sacrificed herself for a friend. And the feckless youth who became my new vessel.
I couldn't find a way to save them. But I wanted to believe that their sacrifice stopped you for good. Why? How was I so blind? I should have seen it as soon as
That's a good question, Jalen.
7 princesses of heart.
Yes. They were all my doing.
And why did it all have to be him, specifically?
Why can't it just be like 3 separate people who
Is he the only pure darkness in this world?
Sora stopped you in your tracks on both counts.
Yes, he did. That dull, ordinary boy. A Keyblade wielder so unlike any I have ever seen. However, I have not abandoned my ambitions. The 7 Guardians of Light and the 13 Seekers of Darkness.
7 Guardians of Light? Well, for Keyblade wielders, there's me and Riku and Sora. And my 3 missing friends, that's 6. Then the 7th would be... That means the 13 Seekers of Darkness.
Yes, little king. Perceptive. But Sora and another on your list belong to me now. And that puts you 3 guardians short.
This whole video game series is filled with contradictions.
Yeah. But that's why we love it.
Your 7 lights, just like my 13 darknesses, whose final clash will beget the prize I The Keyblade. But first, the 13 darknesses shall be united. All the seats have been filled. And now, the last vessel shall bear my heart like the rest.
Okay, pause. Without Sora, he's 12. He's one short. Is that specific one remaining darkness going to be that important in the next game, you think?
Well, that's a good question.
He says on his day of his arrival, all remaining 12 darknesses would meet him to make the 13. But because his plans inevitably fail, and Sora ends up not becoming the 13th darkness, by the time everything comes together for the next game, we're going to need to figure out who that last darkness is.
Or figure out who all of them are, I guess.
Exactly. So, we'll continue to play. But it's one of those things that's like, if you thought everything out, why did you have to rely on Sora to be that next wielder, or that next, can't even talk right now, the next dark vessel or whatever, especially if you need the 7 lights to clash with the 13 darknesses. If you take Sora off the board, then you lose a Keyblade wielder.
True. Because if you look at it too, even for the longest time they've been trying to get Sora.
Mm-hmm. So that's a little strange.
Oh, no! Sora!
Okay, I'm gonna let it play, but I'm kind of curious to how people would like do this at this point. So Coach Nixon said, "What if he does the same thing he did to Sora and he did to Ventus and takes the darkness out of him?" Between Sora and Ventus, they've already been split so many ways. Like, what would that make by that point? Who would that make? What would that even be?
True.
I would have no idea what that would look like, who that would be. That's interesting. Let's see. And there's your 7th, Gerald.
Axel?
Lee.
Yeah, that's what I said, Axel.
You're not supposed to.
I'm gonna keep calling him Axel until he stops using his chat rounds.
I'll always be there to get my friends back.
I hope he sheds the coat in the next game.
Bad timing.
Yeah.
You had your perfect little script, but you kind of forgot to write the sequel. Now, let's find out what happens.
What now, you old coot? Our time is up.
Isa. Exactly. Let's see.
So something made Sayx want to stay.
Whatever. Axel, fine. Now let's get out of here.
If you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Kyra released him, remember, yeah.
Because for Axel and everyone else to come back, something made Sayx want to stay and become part of Xehanort.
Okay. Now, I get time travel, and I understand, I know. So, we defeated Ansem, and we defeated Xehanort. And I'm going to assume that these are versions of them that have come from another point in time to meet here on this day. But, how? And if that's not the case, destroying them mean nothing, because in order to bring back Xehanort, they had to be destroyed. And if we just think about it, with what little time had passed, Xemnas had been destroyed. at one point in time, but he would know he was going to get destroyed and come back. So, like, at what point in time would he have made the jump to come back knowing that he'd have to go forward to get destroyed? But this is technically the future. So is he going forward in time? I don't think you can move forward in time. You can only go back in time to a place where your heart existed at another period in time. But he has no heart. So I guess that means...
That's not entirely possible, because remember, nobodies do have hearts.
You're right. You're right. Nobodies do have hearts, according to Zimnus.
I feel like they shoehorned that in like the last minute. It's like, oh yeah, did you know? Nobodies have hearts. I mean, that entire game that we went through playing.
Which would make them their own people.
Which would give Roxas a reason to exist outside of
Sora. And if so, why would he need, or how could he possibly return to Sora?
That's so confusing.
I was wondering that too. That never made sense to me. So when Sora released his heart, or Kairi's heart from his body or whatever, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, why the heck was Ventus's heart not released? His own heart was released with the Keyblade.
True, because he doesn't have a body anymore. And so, yeah, that is a good question. I think we just found a plot hole.
I mean, I feel like somebody else can still try to explain how it happens, but I see that as another plot hole.
Yep.
Let's see. I hate that they made nobodies have hearts. Yeah, that stuff didn't make any sense. I can't even with this plot. I understand it as much as you guys. Like, we love Kingdom Hearts for what it is. It's ambitious. It wants to tackle so many things. It wants to be this convoluted, giant, epic story. But at the same time, it works and doesn't work. And I think that's why we love it so much. Alright, I'm going to let this play through. We'll say our final things, and then we'll let you guys go for the night.
Were we supposed to do that?
I think so.
Goofy, Donald, you saved us.
We are out of time. Neither the union of light nor darkness has been achieved.
Ooh, that is a good point, huh? Huh,
But the gathering of the 7 and 13 is nigh.
I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be playing Dream Drop Distance. I'll be streaming the video game tomorrow at about 8:30. You can look for me back on my channel doing that. And if you want to, we can chat again.
Together.
Hey, what's going on, Jose? Alright, so we'll cut it there. Alright. We've been through a lot of things. We've gotten somewhere and nowhere at the same time. We've started the car and turned it off. We've driven halfway across the room and stayed in the same place. Kingdom Hearts has done this to each and every one of us. We all have our own theories. We have our own opinions for what's going to happen. Some of us understand it better than others. Some of us think we understand it better than others. But at the end of the day, the only person that understands Kingdom Hearts is Tetsuya Nomura and how much he screws with us.
Or the question is, does he even understand it?
Oh my god. So, at some point in time, we'll try to come back and we'll try to tackle some more things. But tonight was mostly about getting into chat with new people and getting a chance to talk Kingdom Hearts with people with different points of view and different opinions. And just to see where we all stand in the community on what we think is going on in Kingdom Hearts. So, in my opinion, I can't talk right now. Kingdom Hearts has me so flustered. It was a real big success. I really enjoyed doing this with you guys. Let me read this last comment real fast. We appreciate it. Thank you, Ivy. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, we'll probably be doing a lot more of this leading up into Kingdom Hearts 3. It just gave us the opportunity to really talk about something that was really a big passion for us. Yeah, you have any final closing words for our viewers?
Yeah, I guess you guys were pretty much all in the same boat here with Kingdom Hearts. I'll probably be At some point or another, doing something related to it on my main channel for the time being. At some point, jumping over to my second channel, which I haven't done anything with yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a mystery of a game. As much as we want to not like the game, we kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we try not to, this game is so great. I mean, whether you like it for the story, whether you like it for the gameplay, whether you like it because it has Disney aspects, Final Fantasy aspects, the convoluted time travel, Kingdom Hearts is just great because it means something to us in their own way, in its own way, and I think that it's what makes it special. Yeah, so if you're looking for more of what I'm doing here on my channel, I'll be streaming Dream Drop Distance tomorrow at 8:30 on my channel. So stick around for that, and I hope to see you all there. And at my friend TheAnimeBlaze, you said you're going to do some more Kingdom Hearts stuff, and then you still have Twilight Princess that you're doing at the same time too, right?
Yeah, I just got to find the time to do it. I've just been busy.
So hopefully we catch y'all soon. And so from One Soul, for all things nerdom, geekdom, and all things pop culture, keep it here at your boy One Soul.
It's TheAnimeBlaze signing out saying never doubt your capabilities, because you never know what you might be able to do.
And you guys have a good night. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. We greatly appreciate it.
Later.